Nexxlegacy.
Okay, hold up, people. When you go 99.9 high level radio, I gotta make an interruption when we have superstar celebrities like, you know what I'm saying? It's high like Obama high. You dig? And on the hip hop level. And when I say that, and I know my man Doc is laughing right now, but I'm just saying. We got a classic guy in the building. We got Doc Ice in the house on 99.9 high level radio. Doc, blessings to you, bro. What's happening?
What's going on, B-Love? I am so proud to be in the building, man. I was sitting listening to Roxanne, and I tell you, it brought back nostalgia. It brought me back to the day when Roxanne came out, and we was walking down the street, and somebody was playing it, and we was like, yo, that's my record. And the people who was playing it was like, yo, it's my record, too. We like, nah, it's my record for real.
Man, you know how, and Doc, I'm gonna keep it all the way live with you tonight, bro. When I say that you have meant so much to me as far as being a music hero in my community, in my life, like I totally am humbly thankful for the gift that you have given me when I was growing up listening to classic joints like that, bruh. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. If it wasn't you, Doc, I probably wouldn't be right here with you. You know what I'm saying, doing this interview. That's how heavy it is, bruh. That's how heavy it is, Doc, straight up.
You don't even know how much that means to me, because it's like when we first started, getting into hip hop, we was just doing it because like the girls was jumping double dutch. For us, it was like, we need to do hip hop because we need to get the girls, vibing with us. We need to bring them our way, because all we had back then was Skelly. We had no real, street something that would bring the girls our way. If you wasn't light skinned, you wasn't popping off. So
I mean, and to this day, when y'all just did y'all thing, like UTFO has just been dope to me. I mean, it's just a real humbling experience to have you here. I mean, did you know decades later, bro, you still in clubs or people still singing your thing like one by one verbatim, like it just came out yesterday?
No, I say this to you. Did I feel it? Yes, I felt it. Did I know it? No way I knew it. I just felt in my heart that hip hop was something that was different. It was like explosive. When people heard it, like even when we did our first European trip, we went over to Europe with my brother Jalil and Ecstasy and Grandmaster Dio Houdini. We went over with them the first time in '83, and when we went over there, it was like people was loving it. They was talking about it, and when we did the 3 weeks, they was like, "Can you guys stay?" And I'm like 16, getting ready to 17. I'm like, nah, we can't stay. We got to go back to the States. We got families. But it showed how much they appreciated hip-hop, how much they loved it, because right behind that, they brought us back maybe, I'll say, February to March, and we stayed for 3.5 months, almost 4 months in Europe, just doing Germany, Italy, Switzerland, Holland, Belgium, London. I mean, we did so many places, man, and they accepted hip-hop. They loved it. They loved it. They expressed what they felt about this new genre of music, and that was hip-hop. So for us, I can't express to you the overwhelming experience I saw and I felt for myself just looking at people, come to your show, and you start your lyrics off, and you stop, and they continue with your lyrics to the end. I mean, they knew it. They knew it word for word. I mean, we went to Brazil, and then going to Brazil, they didn't speak English. We sitting out there, and we like, yo, y'all like this? Cricket, cricket, cricket. So the translator's like, yo, Doc, say tudo bem com vocês. So I'm like, tudo bem com vocês. So they scream, and he was like, Doc, that means, do you like this? Now say todo legal. So I'm like, todo legal. I'm trusting him. And the crowd screams, and that means, do you want more? So for me, it was crazy to see how our hip-hop bridge gaps of languages in music and just in life in general. So when you say to me, it just changed me, Doc, I know what you're saying, B, because for me, I was a fan of my own music, my own culture. I was a fan of it. So what you are, I am. I feel you. I know what you're saying, and I am in the same position you are. I am a fan of what we come up in, and that's hip hop.
I mean, and UTFO is one of those instrumental groups in hip hop history that, you know, if you know how it is when people retire and they do the Hall of Fame, and if you are by far from retiring, and we're gonna get into, you know, talking about some new music and stuff like that too. But you know, when you have those rafters and those banners and stuff like that, when people win championships, like I swear in the hip hop community, they need to raise that flag and put that UTFO thing up there real quick, baby. That's how hip hop means to me. Like, and do it like real proud, because I mean, going back to what you were saying about just for the love of it, like, you know, at the same time, you felt it in your heart that, you know what, this is gonna be something that I think my people is gonna like. And when you say my people, you're talking about on a universal level, not just in your hood, not just in your community. So, I mean, talk to the listeners about just your mind frame and the mind frame of the group when y'all start really kind of like piecing these classic tracks together.
Yeah, when we started doing it, our goal was, you know, we would say to ourselves, you know, we needed to reach the furthest that we can reach. You know, our manager, Steve Salem, he passed away, bless his soul. But Steve Salem, man, this is a Jewish dude who came into the hood, got with Full Force, and connected to us through Full Force, and sat with us and said to us, he was like, look, we need to make sure we can reach that little country girl way out in Tennessee that's loving UTFO. And that did something to our psyche. That was like, we was like, how do we reach her? She's listening to country music. You know, when we talk about, radio stations that's on the dial, you might have, you know, a bunch of radio stations on the dial that's, you know, that's pop and not hip hop. So how do we reach that one little girl? And for us, you know, when we got into it, we thought about that. That was something that was a part of our writing. You know, we didn't stay in the hood, so to speak. We came from the hood. You know, so when I speak about hip-hop, I say hip-hop is not a music that's for the youth. It's a youthful music. It keeps us young. It keeps us having a vibe that, you know, wants to be joyous and wants to smile and have a good time and pass that on to our kids and to our family. That's what it is. So when we listen to hip-hop, it brings a joy to us. So if we 70, 80, and we got on an Adidas suit with some fat lace Pumas, we hip-hop, because that's a genre or a culture that we grew up with, that kind of, you know, travels with us. Without question, when people see us and they look at us, they identified with us. So they ID'd us. They looked at us and was like, yo, that dude right there is hip-hop. So we had an identification of what hip-hop was. You know, when you look at it today, there's no identification. You can't ID anybody. You look and you go, what is he? You're not sure. But from our day, you knew when you saw us, you was like, yo, that's hip-hop right there.
Right.
So when we bring to the fore the culture of hip-hop, we bring elements of hip-hop. We don't just bring rap. Rap is one element of hip-hop. We bring everything that goes along with the territory, the way we talk, the way we dress, the way we speak. You know, I mean, you know, when we got two turntables and we got the DJ cutting up on those turntables, that's the nostalgia of what we come from. The DJ comes before the rapper. So really it's kind of crazy when you look at the rapper trying to be ahead of the DJ. He's the forefront because he has to be in the front, but the DJ, he's before the rapper. Because without him, what we rapping on? What we rapping on? So when we backtrack it, I'll take a backtrack to say, I remember times when, you know, we would have the house parties, because, you know, that was the thing back then. We had the house parties and the block parties. But when we had the house parties, I remember it being lines of people who wanted to get on the mic and get busy and say they little rhyme because the DJ was dropping the jewels. And the main thing they dropped back in the days that became a monster hit was when Chic, not Sugar Hill Gang, when Chic made Good Times. And when they made Good Times, remember, that's where the breaks come from. We're talking about break beats. We would search for those break beats. When Sugar Hill made Rapper's Delight and that break came, boom, 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 boom,
That's right.
boom, boom. That break was so long, it allowed our rapper to say, yo, I could rhyme on that all day long. So now he could take that break, and he could listen to that break, and his rhyme don't have to be 2 bars, 4 bars, 6 bars. His rhyme was 16 bars, 18 bars, to where somebody else was like, come on, man, let me get in. So it became a thing where the break beats became longer than just a short little something. That's how we discovered, rock tracks and pop tracks and country tracks, because we was digging in the crates trying to find what would the band do, and after they would rock for a certain while, they would go to a breakdown. Sometimes a breakdown would be 1 bar, like boom, 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 and then they go back into their groove. And we would have the DJ keep cutting that break. I want to rhyme off that break. And that break would allow us to go on and on and on. And thus, here came the sample. Sample that. Let that keep running. And as that keeps running, I can rap on that. And then your DJ would be able to balance you out. And after he balances you out, hopefully you had a hook. If you didn't have a hook, the DJ came back talking.
That's
he
right.
came back talking for you. So when we talk about the history of hip-hop, man, it goes deep. And I think a lot of the kids from today need to respect what it comes from. They don't owe us nothing, because we don't owe nobody nothing. We give respect to it. And we have to say that as rappers, we have to give respect to R&B, because without R&B, we don't have no real hip-hop.
No doubt.
We come from James Brown. James Brown had the best breakdowns. Without James Brown, where is Rakim? Where is Rakim? One of the greatest rappers of our time. Where is Rakim without breakdowns? Without James Brown? It's a real history that I think our people need to dig into and let nobody take it away. Because when you talk about hip hop, a lot of people claim they know what hip-hop is, and, when it starts to go on a mainstream, when it goes on that mainstream, if you continue to let it go on that mainstream without showing what it comes from, it looks like they created it.
Exactly.
Without us, without us creating it, and we're like, wow, you're kidding me. You're saying some of the best rappers of today is Lil Wayne? Are we lost? Not that I don't like what not that I don't like what some of the stuff he does, but you kidding me? You're saying he's one of the best rappers? Wow, we are in a dumbed-down era.
Exactly. And that's the thing I want to bring up, Doc, because you do have certain things, and I kind of said it before you came on the air about individuality when it comes to creating this culture of hip-hop. Like, UTFO never sound like Run DMC or Houdini or Beastie Boys. Or none of these groups. Y'all had your own individual lane, and it was embraced by the entire hip-hop community. Now it's like you said, it's kind of clueless. Like, we don't really know who's who or what's what, because everybody's tuned down with the auto-tunes, or everybody want to sound like a certain dude that's out here today instead of your own. What about what about that? The differentiating the things on how it used to be. I used to love the Fat Boys. They never sound like UTFO. UTFO own that. Fat Boys own that. Run DMC. You feel where I'm coming from, right, Doc? You feel that?
Big time. Because and I'll bring one aspect on to add to what you're saying, because you're saying everything exactly the way I feel. Remember back then, we accepted Public Enemy, because they were different from everything else. We was like, yo, they politically talking, but they kicking that flavor that we want to hear. We like, bass, how low can you go? What up, blah, blah, blah. We like, that is a beast. So we got to identify. And I'll say, and it's crazy, man, I'll say this. The last of that type of era was Wu-Tang. I have to say that. And the reason why I feel that was because when we listened to Wu-Tang, we was like, yo, you got Inspector Deck, yo, he's a beast. Then you got Ghostface, then you got ODB, and then you got this beast called Method Man.
Yes,
you
sir.
couldn't front. All of them was dope, but like Karate, there was a certain dude who was the beast. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
There's a lot of karate dudes, but Bruce Lee would kick your ass. He was a different kind of beast. And remember Richard Pryor said, I don't mind you kicking my behind, but don't just be yelling and screaming at me when you kick my behind. And that's what made Bruce Lee different, because he was like, yo, that was different. So let's take it back to karate. That's why The Five Deadly Venoms to us to this date was a great movie, because it was a variety. So now in this era, there's no variety. You go, I'm sorry, yo. When I listen to Drake, I sit back and I be like, this dude is Lil Wayne. I don't care what he say.
Exactly.
Yo, I'm like, I used to pride myself on listening to a tape, not a CD. I used to pride myself on listening to a tape of a bunch of different rappers and be able to say, that's Melly Mel. That's Grandmaster Cass. That's so-and-so. I would pride myself because I would listen to the diction of a rapper. I would listen to the style. I would listen to all of the different elements that he would bring when he was rapping. Now, I would listen and I would be confused. I would tell you that's Drake, and somebody go, nah, that's Lil Wayne. I go, my bad. Because
exactly. And Doc, why? I mean, because to me, I mean,
like my brother said, no, that's Nicki Minaj. My bad. That's Drake.
Now, Doc, you are a card carrier. To me, I think your past of being in this history of hip hop goes super long. So why do you feel, or why do you think it happened the way it happened? It's turning that way, because to me, I think you guys, and when I say the UTFOs, I'm talking about the Houdinis, I'm talking about everybody that was in that mix. They gave us the game to be able to mash on and do more. Why do you feel it's taking a step back and people are losing their way now with this culture?
I'll say this. The blessing of understanding is this. I heard Steve Harvey say this on the radio about a week or two ago. Sense is really not too common. And when you listen to these cats, I think they've lost creativity. You know, we come from a day of abundance of creativity. And this day is a day of supported repetition. Right. You know, and when you listen to them, you go, you know, you're kidding me. That's like, okay, I'm gonna say this to you. I'm gonna say this to you, B, and it tripped me out. I'm watching the videos, and I try my best to listen to what they're doing. But my problem is they can't educate me as well as allow me to have fun, so I don't listen a lot, though I do listen a little. So I was listening one day, and I'm listening, and I hear this dude going, you don't know about that. You don't know about that. You don't know about that. I swear to you, B, I wanted to throw up. I'm saying to myself, this is what my children have to listen to. This is what, you know, they have to listen to and go, yo, that's dope. That's hot? No way. I have to chump it. I got to pull out my pistol and I got to shoot that down. You know, so I think that they have lost their way because of the creativity, you know, the deepness of the mind to expand, to say, what about if we do that? What else? You remember they used to say, you know, they would hire people to come into NASA because they needed new ideas and they wanted just extravagant ideas. These kids are not having those ideas, and they're complacent with the foolishness. So I think that they're caught up in the time, and I don't blame them. I blame the time, but at the same time, I got to say, wake up, y'all. Listen to what you're doing, okay? You might make a couple of dollars, and you straight with that couple of dollars, but just because a drug dealer make a couple million, is it good? Is it good? I don't think it's good. I think he comes from a negative.
No doubt. No doubt. And we, Doc just had a drop call, and when we get back, 9.9 High Level Radio, got Doc back in the building. Doc, I just gave him that sample of the comeback, and I'm glad you called in at the proper time. Wait, give me. I mean, you ain't never left. You ain't lost a step at all. You know what I'm saying? It's like you still had that. Hey Doc, you still had that Heisman pose before it was a Heisman pose. You know what I mean? Like you still had that. You still got that that vibe there that just make me want to get out of my seat and go nuts. You know what I mean? Like that's it.
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
so hey Doc, you coming back into this arena in this hip hop game, and you know what I'm saying? I mean, your motivation, I know it comes from within, but tell these people exactly how you feel bringing yourself back into this business when you could retire a champion.
Well, I feel like, I sat back for a minute when I was like kind of contemplating the direction of hip hop and the way it was going. I sat back and I was like, you got to think, Doc. You just can't come back rapping because everybody already knows you rap. Just kind of think about, what would you do if you come back and what would be the meaning? It was a blessing that I named myself Dr. Ice, because I always wanted to find a cure for something, whether it was, if you was feeling down and I could bring the joy to you, whatever it was, that was my thing. And when I listen to hip hop, there's nothing that I cannot write. I can write across the scope. I can go from A to Z. But I was like, control your pen. What you going to write that will allow people to say, he didn't just come back. He brought something back to us. So I kind of listened to the direction and everywhere it was going. And I just felt like I had unfinished business that I would like to give to the people, one. The second side of it was, it is crazy for me when I listen to the youth of hip-hop act like we should stop and we should end and like we're dead now because we're too old for it. We can kiss my ass with that, too old for it, because the bottom line is, we got a lot of people who are older who want to party, who still go out the clubs, and who still get down. So my thing is, when I'm making music, who am I making music for? I'm making music for them and those who choose to listen to us, whether they be 14, 13, 12, 11. Bottom line is, if they want to hear where I'm coming from and they want to respect, what's the problem? There should be no problem, but there is no way that we should quit, because I feel like we owe it to people of our genre and our generation to continue to do good music, because we made a mark, we made we built a relationship with y'all. So in building a relationship with y'all, you looking for new music. Okay, you love the old, but you want something new as well. Michael Jackson was continuing on before he passed in his untimely death. He was creating new music as well as the old music. So what was the problem? There should be no problem. And I say to all of the youth, I'm not looking to take anything from you. I'm only looking to give something to you. And your parents who listen to what we come from and what we do, they're looking for me. So, when you say too old, y'all lost your mind. You putting a ceiling on your own talent and killing yourself when you think that we're too old. So when you see me still putting it down, still spitting the way that I spit, I'm only showing you that there's longevity for you. For yourself and your kids that come behind you. We used to play baseball way back in the days, and the dude who was on the mound who had like 2 strikes and there was 2 outs, the dudes coming behind him that was up the bat, the main thing they would say was, "Yo, save me a hit." So we say the same thing to them in hip-hop. Save us a hit, because the bottom line is that we connect to each other. Whether you like it or not, I'm a part of you, and you're a part of me, because you come from where I come from. Without me, there's no you. Without my forefathers, there's no me. So there's a connection to hip-hop that we should keep, just like in basketball, baseball, acting, R&B. Check your history, people. They support each other. On BET, didn't they just give my girl Gladys Knight a Hall award? Because she continues to do something good. So stop shunning it. Listen to it, because your parents need the party too. It's not all about you. It's about what it does and what it promotes. So when it comes to hip-hop, I'm not going to let them stop me, Brad. I'm going to continue to do what I do. I'm not going to listen to them, because as long as one person listens to it, just like they say, you can't save everybody. If I can save one, then I'm at peace with myself.
No doubt. I mean, it's not just one, as you already know. You got legions of fans. You got all these people out here locked in to what Doc has to say tonight on 99.9 High Level Radio. And one of the things that I love about listening to some of your new material is it just seemed like lyrically, you know, I'm always this type of dude, you know, male or female. I want to close my eyes and I want to feel what you got to say. Like, you know what I'm saying? And to me, that's from the gut of not just my hood, but every other hood. I want to feel that wholeheartedly. Now I'm listening to these new tracks, and I'm over here like, you know, okay, how did this guy just, you know, go from the level that he was at to the level higher than that? Lyrically. You know what I mean? I'm like, and people, and I'm telling you, they'll never be. We gonna run that in a little while. But I mean, I'm over here like, how did this dude get it? And not only that, he's covering it. And what you said earlier, Doc, covering each and every single person, a child from, you know, you can get that demographic from like 4 to 400 years old. You dig it and do it, and it be relevant to this day. It's something that people can go back to and vibe to. You know what I'm saying? That's what's missing today. But tell the people a little bit about just the whole, you know, you got albums coming up, or, you know, what you working on right now as far as that goes.
Well, first I want to do this because, you know, I got a blessing, man, to lock in with you, Brad. We got to shout out my man, Kevin Gray. Kevin, I know you listen to baby, Brad. We love you, man, and I thank you for continuing to put me in the great connections, you know, with Brad, and I just love that we continue to reach out. And, you know, it's like, when we travel back in our minds about, you know, when we listen to or we think about, you know, the history of us as a black people, you know, we think about how we always would find ways to come up. That's just what we do. I mean, you know, we were slaves. We were slaves.
Absolutely.
So when we listen to the understanding of we were slaves, we came up from somewhere because we knew there was something better than what we were going through. So just like now in hip-hop, you know, I know there's something better, so I continue to fight for that. And if I just catch one of these, you know, cats that's spitting and doing well, I'm loving that, and I want to grow on that, and I want them to teach me as well as I teach. We never too old to learn. So when it comes to, you know, the cipher, you know, like Kev connecting me to you, Brand, I'm blessed with that. You know, I shout out to my DJ, you know, DJ Kaz, who is showing me love. My man Freddie B out in Tennessee. You know, my brother Jalil from Houdini, my cousin, you know, Chuck Birch, my man Jermaine B on 91st. I mean, I got so many soldiers. You know, my girl Boo Boo, you know, my girl Noodles, my man Tim Limelight, DJ Dignity. There's so many people. I would take up time just throwing shout-outs on your show, so I don't want to do that. But it's so many people that allow us to keep that circle going and not break it. So I'm proud of y'all. I thank y'all. My girl Amel out in France, I thank y'all for, you know, continuing to be a part of what we're a part of. You know, my girl Stacy, my girl Tracy, all of y'all, I love you guys, and my man E. I just want to say that having a genre like this or an outlet like this is important to us, B. You don't understand how important it is that you're on that side saying, Doc, I got a place for you to come. Just talk to me. It is important for us to have that, and it's a blessing for us to have that, and I will never, ever disrespect that. I'm a guy that, like I said, I'm a fan of what we're a part of. So, you know, if I wasn't the rapper, I might be what you are. So it's a blessing that you are what you are, and I am what I am, so we can connect and continue to bring it to those who choose to listen, because we can't force nobody to listen. We just say, please open your ears and have an understanding to be able to balance it out, because your brain can never overload. That is the blessing that our God gave us. Maybe a computer can, but our brains cannot overload. So take your time, listen to it. You know if it's good, or if it's good for you, or if it works, and if it doesn't, let it go. But take something good from it, because the bottom line is Doc Ice is not going to bring nothing to you negative. I come from something different. I come from a different understanding. I come from a great class, and I want to bring that to all of those listeners listening. You know, from the comeback, you know, the comeback was something that, you know, I wasn't saying I'm coming back, because I've always been here. I was basically saying I want y'all to come back to good music. You know, I want my fans to come back to good music. Don't think that we too old, and don't let them treat you like you too old. I'm sorry. I wouldn't want a mother who wasn't hip. I wouldn't want a father who wasn't hip. I'm not going to go on the street and say my pops is corny. Nah, I'm not going to do that. I want a mother and a father that I can say, nah, man, my moms and pops know what time it is. They catch me on the BS that I try to put over on them. You know what I mean? That is a proud thing to know that you come from that. If you choose to not come from that, then what you choose to come from. What are you saying that you want to be a part of, or that's your heritage? I think my heritage comes from a great understanding, a great love, and a great direction, and I'm going to put that on anybody who chooses to listen, and I say I love you, Brand, for opening up this door. It's very important to me and those who choose to listen.
Man, that means a lot to me coming from a guy like you. Like I said earlier, it's humble to even be in the same airspace, chopping it up with you right now about, you know, this culture that I love near and dear that helped and mold and shape my life growing up. You know what I mean? And it's a surreal feeling, bro, to be able to do this on a level like that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it makes me believe in hip-hop again. You feel me? When I'm conversating with Doc.
Right,
you know
exactly. You know, and I say this to you, but I laugh at a lot of my homies, man, who would call me and they'd be like, yo, Doc, I got to say something to you, man. I'd be like, yo, what's up, B? They'd be like, yo, when I be talking to you on the phone sometimes, right, I got to pull the phone away from my ear and I'll be like, yo, this is Doc Ice. And I get back on the phone, yo, what's up, Doc? And for me, I think that is the greatest thing, man, to know that my boys who become my family now, because we were family, whether I got to you or not, I got to you through music. It's like it's a blessing to know and to say, yo, what was you doing, man, when Roxanne was out at the top? Yo, Doc, I was running through college, or I was going through, you know, high school, and I was doing this, and I was doing. It's a blessing to know that you was doing something at a time that my song allowed you to get through that time with. So for me, man, I love all of the stories. If we was to do a movie, I would do a movie on backtracking on everybody who was doing a certain something at the time when Roxanne came out and all those songs to follow, when those songs came out, what they were doing at the time. That's what I would love to be a movie. And I think that even for me, it would be intriguing for me to say, wow, man, you was doing that. You know, you was going through that. So I think that, you know, as far as hip-hop is concerned, there's a lot of stories that are untold that would be great for the big screen. And if anybody's out there listening to us right now on 99, just understand, if you want to do a movie, that's the movie you need to do. And don't follow me. Come get Doc Ice and come get Brand so we can get down with it. You understand what I'm saying?
Hey, you ain't lying, bro. Hey, and if they need to holler at Doc Ice, you can actually hit that man up on Twitter at @TheRealDocIce as well. You know what I'm saying? No doubt. No doubt.
I gotta shout out to my girl Mocha, man. Mocha is like Mocha Styles. They definitely came into my life and it was like, Doc, we need to get you back where you belong and just keep pushing until we open the door. And that just kind of just brought me back to the beginning of hip-hop when they was like fronting on us saying that it's a fad, it's not going to last, it's going to go in, it's going to come out. You know, we are soldiers, man. We don't need 1 million people. We just need 300 men. And if we got 300 good men and their sole focus is to promote good hip-hop, we're going to win. I mean, we're up against the grain in this day and age, but there's no such thing as impossible. It's a hard road, but it's not impossible. So get with us, y'all. Focus on what's good, listen to it, compare it, and don't let your good understanding, you know, leave you. Don't do that. Really fight to understand what good hip-hop is, and we'll get together, and we'll be able to bring out big crowds and show the youth that follow us, this is what you want to do. When you look at rock and roll crowds, I don't see 2,000, 3,000 people. I see 50, 60, 100,000 people because they got mothers, grandmothers, granddaughters. They got grandparents and grandkids coming out to see that same group because they continue to promote and push that group. And that is what MTV does. And I put BET on blast. Promote your history so that you can continue to build in your crowd and show that this is a long history of good music that promotes to this day. That's what MTV does. And if you took a page out of MTV's book, BET, then you need to follow that and promote what we come from and what is to come so that we can bridge the gap of not hip-hop, family. Bridge the gap of families.
Because Doc, it's that unity that brought that culture together in the first place, man. It just seemed like just the fact that people are not as humble as they were back then, not just with themselves, but just with the culture itself. That's the thing that's tearing it apart. So it's looking in the mirror and figuring out exactly what you want to do if you are in hip-hop, what you want to do with your career, and how you want to take it to that next level to be able to fit in the same arena as Doc Ice, UTFO, and others. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. And I say it to everybody out there. You know, when you do what you do, if you don't care about hip-hop, then continue to do what you do. But if you care about hip-hop, then maybe you should check and listen to what you're promoting and where you're coming from. And if you choose to do some of those things, okay, cool, I respect you for that. Really hear me. I respect you for some of that. But that should not be the concentration of your album. That should not be the concentration of your songs. I sat with my man, I can't think his name draws a blank to me right now. But Kid Rock. Kid Rock was like, yo, Doc, just get to your stories like you used to do back in the days, and you'll bring it back to the fore. So that's what I started to do. I was like, I'm just going to tell the stories, and I'm going to make sure they understand these stories are real. And once they connect with these stories, hopefully, you know, we can connect together, and they can respect that, and we can build on that. Other than that, I'm not selling no candy rap, because I'm not from candy rap. You know what I mean? I'm from something different. I might write about candies that we eat when I'm rapping, but I'm not about the candy rap. My thing is to bring you steak, potatoes, and some greens so that you can be healthy at the end of the day. But it's not. I'm not going to have ice cream for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's not the way that hip-hop should be. We should definitely understand that it needs some nutrition. Right now, you know, you might have a little bit of sugar, and that's cool, but you can't eat sugar all day without a negative effect coming about.
Exactly. And if y'all want to book this guy, media, do interviews, anything, holla at Mocha Styles on Twitter, MOCCA Styles. And also shoot that email off, too, at mochabrandmedia@gmail.com. And, you know, like I said, man, before we let you go, talk to these people about this new music. And, you know, is it an album coming out, bro? Or, you know, are you working on something towards it for 2012?
Yeah, I'm definitely working on an album. And I got so many tricks up the sleeve, man, but I'm going to talk about the album that I'm doing now called The Doctor Will See You Now. And I'm kind of working a twofold, a double album that'll be out in February, and I want to do it in February because that is Black History Month.
Yes, sir.
And the song, They'll Never Be, that is a song that I wrote about how I met my wife today. And I just kind of just sat back and I was like, it's a story that everybody can relate to. So I wrote the story full force. You know, they happened to come to my wedding when my wife and I got married. And after the wedding, my wife actually came down to the track that we did. And full force heard that, went into the studio, and they created an immaculate track. And for those who don't know Full Force, they was in House Party. They produced the Backstreet Boys, Lisa and Cult Jam, James Brown. I mean, Patti LaBelle. The list is endless of who Full Force has produced. So I love them. I give a shout out to them and thank them for being a great part of my history in hip hop, my coming out to hip hop. I thank them for seeing what nobody else saw in UTFO back then. But we went back into the lab, Full Force and I, and we created They'll Never Be, in parentheses, Valentine's Day, because on Valentine's Day is the day that I met my wife, and this song came to be, and it came out to be something immaculate, and we're working on doing the video. So the video for it should be done in another month, and we'll be releasing it in 2012 in February, Black History Month, and I want you guys to continue to support it and know that we got a lot of different things up our sleeves, so we need you to stay in touch with us. Don't forget my man Mozartistic Entertainment. He's the one that just finished doing our photo shoot. Grindstone Entertainment, Grindstone Wear, they produced and created all of the clothes that we're wearing. It's a conglomerate of good people who are looking to bring back what's real, what's hip, what's fly, to allow people to understand that it doesn't end with what you're hearing. if you do some research and you continue to support what's good, not bad, what's good.
Do some research, look in the mirror, be humble, support culture. Don't just support yourself. It's bigger than you. This culture is bigger than you.
It's bigger than me.
Support the next man, be humble, do what you do. And, again, Doc, like, I mean, we all know, but, you know what I'm saying, UTFO, to me, honestly, was that group that started that phenomenon. You know what I mean? Not just the Roxanne phenomenon. Like, y'all started something that nobody in the history, not just in hip hop, but in music history, will never forget. Ever. And
I interject to say to you this: when we did Split Personality, everybody who I crossed, like a Y class, I mean, so many cats, man, I can't even name them all. When I met them face off, they was like, "Yo, Doc, when y'all did Split Personality with 5 different languages and accents and all of that, we just lost our mind, and we went into the lab, and it made us step up our game." So, you know, for us, we wasn't afraid to push that pencil. We wasn't afraid to step up to the next level because we didn't care what nobody thought. Our goal was to do something different and make sure that people would respect it. And I want to say this, you know, I know that a lot of people have a different feeling about, you know, the auto-tune. But I'll say this to anybody. It's not the auto-tune. It is the people in hip-hop who saturated and who have no talent and don't know how to work it. Because we come from the day of Roger Troutman, you know, when he used the bow quarter, and the Jamaicans, when they used the echo chamber, you know, we come from that thing of creating different, you know, using different elements. Our thing is, don't hide behind it like that's all of your talent. But if somebody uses it, listen to it and see if they use it cleverly to make sure that they shows you a talent and a growth in it. So I won't disrespect the auto-tune. I disrespect those who use it like they have nothing else to use.
Amen. Amen to that. Man, the words by Doc Ice is the words that many should be able to pay attention to. And Doc, before I let you go, I got to tell you this, man. Do not be a stranger to the show. We will continue, not just to support what you got currently, but we supporting the legacy that you have created for us media people in radio to continue to push your line, man. We will do that. So
I think
that may be different than what you've heard before. It's not just, hey, you got a new track, we're going to run that. No, we go back to the history. We'll throw out some leader of the pack before we run your new thing. You know what I mean? Like, we'll do that first, you dig? Like, we'll throw the Roxanne's and the Lisa Lips out there, you know what I'm saying, before we give them something. You know what I'm saying? That's letting people know that, hey, listen to history and listen to new history.
Right, no doubt. And I say that to say, I agree with you to say there's no way that people out of our country should know hip-hop and the history of hip-hop better than where hip-hop comes from. So I love you, Brand, and I thank you for, you know, the opening and the invite to be able to be a part of something like this, because without you, believe me, we go nowhere. You are the Mr. Magic of today. So I respect you, I love you, and I'm going to continue to support what you do. And whatever you need me to do, you holler at me. You know you got my direct number, so it ain't no sudden. You call me, wake up, Doc, I need to holler, and we do what we got to do.
We'll do, Doc. Hey, I'm running your brand new track. Go ahead and air this out. Let the people know before I play it. And thank you for being an icon that we all can.
Nexxlegacy.